Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, Episode 5. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. Now, y'all, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. It wasn't really much to this episode, but y'all know I'm gonna judge it up. So, y'all, let's get into it. When the episode first opens up, Garcelle is in Ventura County, which is 35 miles north of Malibu. And she's there with her sister, and she wants to build a beach home. So she's going to knock this house down, and she's going to build a house in place of that. And she wants it to be at least 2,700 square feet. I think that's awesome, Garcelle. Let me tell you something. To be able to purchase multiple homes, honey, because you got all these jobs. And she said that she's with her sister, Chantel, is one of her older sisters. She's the baby. And she says that she flies up often to see her and her family. And she's like, listen, me and my sister talk on the phone all the time. Chantel is the person that will laugh at her own jokes. And I'll be like, do you even need me on the phone? Well, honey, let me tell you something. She is a woman after my own heart, because if it's one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to laugh at my own jokes, okay? Y'all know, because y'all listen to these reviews. So they go out to the beach, and they're sitting there, they're holding hands, they're talking. Garcelle goes out by the water, and she's just like, you know what? As a little girl, I used to love the beach, and I would always dream of having my own beach home, and now she got it. Hashtag goals. Moving forward. In the next scene, Dorit and Erica Jane go for lunch. Dorit starts talking about her therapy session, girl, and how draining it is. But she's like, I'm doing it to manage my anxiety. So then Dorit updates Erica about Lois and how bad it is. And let me just say this. That is so heartbreaking. I'm not ready for that time when my parents start to become more kid-like. And now it's time for me to take over the role and responsibility, especially being the oldest, of taking care of them. I'm just not ready. My heart really does go out to Rena. It really does. So then she brings up this trip to Punta Mita and Diana Jenkins firing up the PJs so they can go down there and whatnot. Across town, Kyle is meeting with Crystal for her own little lunch. So Kyle tells us that Paris is finally getting married. And so everything has to be over the top. Everything has to be perfect. Okay, she getting married. That's hard. Shout out to Paris. So they started talking about La Quinta, and Kyle said Crystal defending herself through Sutton under the bus. Now people are going to create their own narrative about what exactly she was talking about when she used the word dark. So Crystal is like, let's just be clear. I'm not repeating it. So Kyle is like, well, you should have never said it. Now, I sure hate to agree with Kyle, honey, but that is the truth. Ruth, you should have never said it. So Crystal was like, okay, lesson learned. So then Kyle recalls exactly what we saw last season, and she tells Crystal, I feel like you're gaslighting the situation. Pot, meet kettle. Kyle, if you don't shut up. So then Crystal's like, gaslighting? Okay, be very careful with that. Oh my God, y'all all getting on my nerves, honey. Can't nobody say anything in this group, clearly. Kyle is like, are you going to be dramatic about that? Kyle, you are the most drama-filled housewife in history. Girl gone. So Crystal was like, well, can you just give me the benefit of the doubt? And Kyle was like, I really want you to be more direct. Child ain't got time to be playing with them. The two of them had a tension-filled conversation, and it seemed like it ended okay, but I think Crystal just really wanted Kyle to shut the hell up, and I think that Kyle came in there with an agenda to get Crystal all the way together, but then when Crystal shut her down real quick by saying lesson learned, it was really nothing else to say. Moving forward. In the next scene, Diana Jenkins goes to visit Kyle. She's like, oh my God, it took me like an hour and a half to get here from Beverly Hills. Girl, what you trying to say? She live in the valley? Baby, that Diana Jenkins, honey, she be shooting some subliminals, Kyle. Pay attention. And I was thinking the whole time, I hope she's not allergic to residential areas, honey, because she like she's allergic to everything else. I'm surprised she didn't have her staff go ahead of her and check out Kyle's home before she arrived. So Kyle tells Diana that Farrah got engaged, but she didn't want to, put too much zhuzh on it because it was Paris's night. And, child, we know Kyle is about to be the frantic mother of the bride, honey, running around. Oh, my God, where's Portia's dress? It's going to be a mess, child. Ooh, it's going to be a mess. So Kyle asked Diana if she wanted more babies. And Diana said after Ollie, she got pregnant with a baby boy, but her baby died in her stomach. Oh, my gosh. I cannot imagine that pain. Just thinking about that. Oh, child, that's just too much for me. She did say, in fact, that she wanted to have one more baby. In the next scene, Garcelle goes to dinner with Sutton. Tries a whole bunch of little dinners and lunches and meetings and drinks. And okay, they piecing together an episode at this point. So Garcelle goes to dinner with Sutton. Child Sutton up here playing tableside bartender, honey, mixing her own ginger ale with a cocktail or whatever she was doing at this table, child. Taking the ice out and moving it around with chopsticks. It was a fool. So Garcelle got right into it. She was like, so last night was strange. Sutton said, yeah, me and Crystal talked about that last summer, so I'm not understanding what is happening. So then they show a flashback of Sutton talking about different ethnicities being in her pool, right? She did say Chinese and Irish redhead girls, and Garcelle is confused. She's like, well, she said it was dark. Child, this can't be what it was. Sutton is like, that's all I can think of because that's all that we talked about. So Garcelle is like, well, you need to watch your new friend, okay, because she can't be trusted. I guess maybe it was the description of the children. Honey, I don't know. I don't know. It's not making no sense to me. Like, and I'm already tired of hearing about it. I really am. I hope this is the last episode where we have to visit the word dark. Oh, child is giving Sesame Street. The word of the day is dark. Moving forward. I know that's not the moment, because if it is the moment, Crystal is clearly putting some stank on it. And another thing, the producers catch everything. So if Kyle heard it, we would have heard it too. Okay, and we would have heard about it last season because she takes every opportunity to poke at Sutton, and y'all know that. So then they show a black screen, November 15th, 2021. Lisa tells us that her mom, Lois, passed in hospice, and she said her mom was 93 and a half years old, and she directed them to not resuscitate her or give her a breathing tube. And I just want to say my condolences to Lisa. I can't even imagine how that feels, and I'm just praying for your strength. I really am, because I can say a lot about Lisa Rinna, but baby, she loved her Lois, and Lois loved Rinna. And so I just feel so sad for her. Lisa loved her mom, and she was truly a sweet-spirited lady. You can tell even through the screen. Always happy. And also, Lois, happy heavenly birthday, because I see that your birthday was June 7th. Moving forward. It's the next morning, and Kyle calls Erica to talk about Rinna's mom passing. Kyle, please don't adopt this as your own, honey. Okay? Please don't. It's the day of the trip, and Rinna actually showed up. Child, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Child, y'all would have had to, I'm not going to be able to come. She feels like Lois would want her to go. I do feel like Lois would have wanted her to, be with the ladies, but I just don't know if I personally would have been able to do it. So she talks about how her daughters got to say goodbye to Lois and have their final moments with her. Here comes Dorit. With my own trauma, I know how it feels to be around people to support you. Shut up, Dorit. Shut it up. Oh, child, this is just, Dorit, please stop bringing everything back around to your questionable robbery. Her mom just passed. Please stop. Oh, so they get on the plane and whatnot. And I was thinking to myself, you mean Kyle not freaking out? So they're going over the itinerary, and they finally land, and I guess Kyle's fear of flying is gone. Because y'all remember when Kyle got in the plane and she started hyperventilating one season, and she was like, oh my gosh, I have a deathly fear of flying. And all of a sudden she's perfectly fine. And Kyle, let me find out. Moving forward. So they're having this awkward car ride because everybody's separated, right? There's Erica, Sutton, Garcelle, and Crystal in one car. I cannot believe this. Then you have Rinna, Dorit, Kyle, and Diana Jenkins in another car. Child, this is a fool. And guess what, y'all? Erica actually said words in response to what Sutton said. Garcelle was like, I just know that Dorit is over there speaking Spanish, and Sutton goes, yeah, they're going to answer her in English. So Erica actually said something to Sutton, and it really tripped me out. And then, lo and behold, they pan over to Dorit. She's in the car talking about, ¿cuántos tiempo? That man said 20 minutes. The way I hollered that they got is so spot on. Baby, Dorit is a one-trick pony. Honey, they already knew she was over there acting a fool. You quiero Taco Bell. Girl, goodbye. So they arrive at the resort, and they're greeted with drinks. Honey, the property is stunning. And Diana gets to her well-appointed room with everything already laid out, honey, because she had her staff go ahead of her and whatnot. How many times she gonna tell us? I don't know. But I guess at least the staff gets plenty of vacations. So the sun's gone down, and it's time for the ladies to get ready for dinner, to get together and get ready to fuss. So Crystal and Diana, they get downstairs first. Then Sutton and Rena arrive. Then Kyle, Garcelle, and Erica, they're still waiting for Dorit. I guess the glam fairy in her is back, honey. I don't know. But you know Dorit gonna always be the last to arrive. So Kyle is asking Lisa how she's feeling. And Rena was like, it just hasn't hit me yet because it's only been 2 days. I would still be in the fetal position. I'm sorry. I just thinking about it takes my breath away. Ooh, So then they make a toast to Lois. Oh, that moment was very, very sweet. It seemed genuine, and you can't deny that Lois was a light. So all the ladies rallying around Rena and making a toast to Lois, it was chef's kiss. Side note, I wonder why Lisa calls her mom by her first name. I've always wondered that, like, why does she call her Lois instead of calling her mom? Maybe she said it in previous seasons and I just don't remember. So anywho, Dorit finally emerges and she was like, yeah, I was just triggered by the room, the location. It was so, Dorit, give me a break. Okay, give me a break. And I'm going to always bring it back to this. You went to Kyle's house the night after the break-in. You left your children with staff. You're fine. You ain't sat still yet, but want all of us to feel bad every time you leave home. Girl, shut up. So Rena was like, so what did I miss? So Sutton said, well, I had a story event. Rena, now you know what you missed. Kyle can't hold water. So everybody was quiet, right? And so Lisa goes, well, you guys are awfully quiet. Sutton said, well, they talked a lot about me, but I wasn't there. So Crystal said, but we did have a conversation at the party to fill you in. So Sutton said, I just don't want things to be misconstrued because my family loves everyone. I just want to make that clear. She was like, I don't want any untruths to be spoken. So Crystal was like, well, I felt very uncomfortable with what was said, but we talked about it. Sutton said, that was from last year. So why bring it up? To put a stamp on what she was saying, but she didn't realize it was going to backfire. And that's what was happening. She over-exaggerated, honey, and it blew up in her face. So Crystal said, well, the tone was very heavy and it felt very uncomfortable. Judging from that scene they showed, it was a regular conversation. I'm not understanding. Crystal got a little Karen in her. She got a little Karen in her. I got to call a spade, honey. Dorit is like, well, you said it was a lot worse. You said it was dark. So Crystal said, words are like a Rorschach. So Garcelle said, what's that? I don't know what that is. Erica said, it's like a blot test. Child, not Erica of all of them knowing the meaning, but don't know how to write a check or visit a bank. Okay, Erica. It's basically one of those tests where they show a blob of ink to see what it is you interpret it as. But in this case, Crystal, it's not a Rorschach. Those were your words. Saying dark means it's dark. Girl, hush. You're not about to run no words over me. Okay, if it's one thing I know, it's a word. So Garcelle was like, I've never heard of that. So then Crystal goes, I know those are big words. Baby. The way that I would have gotten Crystal together in the most supercalifragilisticexpialidocious way. Baby, I would have laid into her so good. Oh my goodness. I would have pulled out Webster's Dictionary's finest on that ass, okay? I don't like the way you look directly at Garcelle, Crystal, talking about, I know, big words. Garcelle said, we understand big words. Well, according to you, Crystal, it's only a 2-syllable word. So it isn't that big. Like, it may be unfamiliar to them, but it's not an SAT word. Girl gone. So Garcelle said in her confessional, I have some big words and I can say them to Crystal, but I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. Child, I know that's right. So Sutton was like, I'm just nervous to be friends with you now because basically you tried it, okay? You tried to assassinate my character. Here comes Erica. I'm in awe. Are you in awe, Erica? You know what I'm in awe about? I'm in awe about the fact that you sat up on last episode and said that you think the victims are lying about being paid. I'm in awe at how, after all of this, you are still so self-absorbed and delusional. It's sickening. You want a moment so bad. You're trying to get a moment every episode. For someone who hates Sutton, you always interject to revert things back to you. Move on, toots. She's like, I was just saying this last year. Garcelle is like, you can't compare the two. Erica, listen to me, girl. I'm speaking directly to you, honey. All of us doubted your cockamamie stories. Okay, well, there are a few of us that believe them, but honey, not me. but Sutton didn't try to assassinate your character. You pretty much had that covered. And this isn't about you. I know you want everybody to switch gears and be like, you know what, Sutton? You did try to assassinate her character. Girl, go on, honey. It ain't gonna happen. Garcelle said Sutton was questioning what was being said. Crystal is deliberately assassinating someone's character. So Dorit questions the validity of what Crystal had said. And Crystal is like, what I said were things were very hurtful. No, what you said is she said something very dark and you don't want to repeat it. Oh, Lord, child. Crystal backpedaling and whatnot. So she feels like the other ladies say dark all the time and no one questions it. People do say definitive statements. These ladies do. But dark implies the worst. And I feel like we would have questioned them as well. And I know Garcelle would have questioned it. Crystal, you are a piece of work, girl. You really are, honey. I couldn't be friends with Crystal because she just do too much. And you just never know. You start to get into a groove with her and you think everything's fine and then boom. But I will say this. All of this stemmed from Garcelle's question. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit later. So Sutton said, I know what I said. So then Erica goes, so what do you think she's accusing you of? Like, I don't want to hear from anyone else. I just want to hear from Sutton. Erica, did you forget you can't stand Sutton? Girl, let me tell y'all something. I think Sutton standing up for herself made Erica slightly respect her. Because she used to minions. And baby, when Sutton put her foot down and she was like, no, I'm not apologizing to you because I don't like you. Erica was like, what? Not somebody standing up to me. Not somebody standing 10 toes down. And now she's doing everything to get Sutton's attention. Girl, if you want to be friends, just say that. So Sutton said, you know, I just don't want any insinuation about my character. So Erica said, you want her to say that she doesn't think you're a racist. Like, just say that. Put it out there, girl. Because we were all thinking it and nobody wants to say it. Dare I say, I am on Erica's side at this moment. Moving forward. So Dorit is like, it's not the content of what was said. And so Rena is like, well, it's very dangerous. Okay, you're dangling a very dangerous carrot. And I mean, it's already bad for you, Sutton. It's just already bad. So Erica was like, when you don't say what it is, people can create their own narrative. Absolutely, Erica. You are absolutely right. Crystal knows that. She just didn't expect it to go this far. She knows exactly what she's doing. Sitting around talking about Rorschach. And you think she doesn't understand what she did to Sutton? Girl. So Sutton is like, I'm fucking pissed. Because now Erica and Rena have really hyped her up, baby. She said, I said nothing wrong and it's not fair. And I stand by that. I didn't say anything wrong. And baby, they got Sutton riled up. Do y'all hear me? She said, you have a pattern with this. You make up lies behind your friends' backs. You need to stop it. Because I like you. I'm telling you this. But you need to stop. So Erica is like, well, how are the friends involved in this? Erica. Erica, be quiet. Be quiet. So Sutton said, you know, people have told me, this is what she's saying in her confessional, that she will backstab you to get to the most powerful one in the group. Okay, I'm hearing you, Sutton, but that doesn't really apply in this case because Garcelle questioned her. Now, if she just came out of the blue and started telling people, hey, you know, last year Sutton said something dark, then I would kind of go with that. But she didn't do that. Garcelle said something, and then she said this in turn. The bottom line is this. Crystal felt threatened by the question that Garcelle asked her. So to try and get them off of her, she put some extra stank on what Sutton said. Now, do I think that Sutton's hands are, you know, completely clean? No. Do I think Sutton is capable of kitchen table talk? Absolutely. Do I think whatever Crystal is talking about was dark? No. Moving forward. So then Lisa had a confessional and she said, you know what? I also heard that, but I just chose not to speak on it. Oh, so this is going around town. So Kyle is like, I was there. Crystal goes, Kyle is just choosing to focus on what serves her and not what could hurt people of color. Crystal, please leave me out of it, honey. Leave me out of it if you're not going to make it plain. Okay? Because I think you just want to rally the troops so we can get all riled up and get to tweeting and acting a fool and whatnot. If you're not going to say what it is, then I don't want to hear it. Okay, I really do not want to hear it. So Sutton is like, well, it's about my family and them having multicultural friends. That's what I think it's about. And Garcelle is like, well, she told me that and it wasn't as dark as you made it out to be. So Crystal is like, well, it was problematic. Girl, was it problematic or was it dark? Please say what it was. So Kyle was like, well, she's saying it's okay, so just say it. Crystal ain't saying nothing. You know how I know Crystal fabricated what Sutton said? Let me tell y'all how I know. Because in the past, since we've been introduced to Crystal, okay, when she's right and she knows she's right, she's going to stand in it and really get in your face with it, and she will not back down. Crystal sat idly by that entire dinner saying absolutely nothing. She didn't say anything. She keeps playing with semantics at this point. So, I mean, it's giving, I might have said a little something extra. Let's just move on. Because even when Kyle was like, I don't want to go back, and she was like, okay, well then let's just move forward, because she doesn't want to address it because there's nothing there. So Sutton is like, you know what? I like Crystal. I mean, even though I hate her, but I mean, I like her. She said, you know what? Thanks. Crystal goes, I'm sorry. Is this for real? Child, this was a mountain made out of a molehill. And until they tell me exactly what was said, I care less. I don't want to hear nothing else about it. And that was the end of the episode. I told y'all it was just a little filler. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. What did you think about it finally coming out what allegedly Sutton said? Did y'all think that was dark? Child, you might not know the meaning of words, Crystal. Talking about, I know it's a big word. Child, you might not know the meaning of small words. Going around calling something so minute dark. Girl, anyway, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.